Hi there, I'm Cheryl Truesdale, and I am thrilled that you have joined me for this episode of Cheryl Shares TV, your station for inspiration. And boy, do I have something for you today. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to push past your guilty feelings so you can set the healthy boundaries that allow you to enjoy your life. Would you like to enjoy your life more? Do you think setting healthy personal boundaries could help you do that? If so, then this episode is for you. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you a strategy that will give you the courage you need to live within your personal boundaries so you can enjoy your life. But first, I want to share an example from my life that shows how not setting boundaries steals your joy and makes your life miserable. Well, in my past, there were many occasions when I would be out with someone who drank a lot of alcohol. Now, while the drinking didn't bother me much, some of the situations I found myself in because of the drinking bothered me a whole lot. For example, after an evening out, which always seemed to include lots of drinking for whoever I was with, I was faced with the problem of getting back home. Now, sometimes there would be no resistance and I would be able to drive us both home safely. However, there were those other times when getting back home meant I rode as a passenger with a drunk driver. Okay, looking back now, it's really easy for me to see that I should have had a boundary that said something like, hell no, I'm not going to get in the car with you if you're going to drive drunk. But back then, the only way I knew how to deal with that situation was to adopt a victim mentality, which meant I felt guilty about making any waves. Every time I felt scared, every time I felt angry, yet every time I still got in the car with a drunk driver. So you can see, my lack of boundaries was putting me in compromising positions that were literally making my life miserable. Having healthy boundaries really does allow you to enjoy your life, which is why this episode is designed to help you bust through the guilty feelings that are stopping you from enjoying more of your life. Yeah, it would be nice if there was some kind of a boundary fairy that would come alongside us and do the dirty work for us. But you know what? I waited around for that fairy and she just never showed up. So if you've ever struggled with setting personal boundaries and sticking to them, I'm going to show you a way for you to take control of your guilt instead of your guilt controlling you. Now, I have a kind of funny way that I like to describe the emotional guilt that starts to happen when we begin setting and enforcing boundaries. I like to call it the big fat rat syndrome. It seemed that every time I tried to set a personal boundary, I felt like a big fat rat. I felt guilty when other people got upset because they didn't particularly like or approve of my boundary. Sound familiar? Well, let me share a little insight here. Feeling like a big fat rat when you start setting boundaries is totally normal, and so are the negative reactions other people may have to your boundaries. Well, once you get this and realize that all of these negative emotions are totally normal, it makes it a whole lot easier to override your guilty feelings so you can stand behind the personal boundaries that you've put in place. Yes, it can be uncomfortable when you first start setting and enforcing personal boundaries. But remember this, being uncomfortable is only part of the equation. You see, until you've experienced living within your personal boundaries, you haven't had the opportunity yet to enjoy all the yummy benefits. And trust me, the benefits so outweigh any discomfort. Unfortunately, when you set a boundary, you initially have to deal with resistance from people who don't like it that they can no longer control you and manipulate you and use you. But I like to look at it this way. When somebody really cares about me, they support my choice to honor myself, and they accept and respect the boundaries that I live within. I mean, isn't it worth it to be free from all the damaging effects of toxic people anyway? Talk about enjoying more of your life. So that, my friend, is the big fat rat syndrome. Now, I'm going to give you a strategy to use when the big fat rat syndrome kicks in. Here's the strategy. As soon as you start noticing that you're feeling guilty about the way your boundaries are affecting other people, I want you to remember the big fat rat syndrome and then say these words. You're going to want to write this down. When living within my personal boundaries, feeling like a big fat rat means I'm right on track. It is amazing how these words empower you to push past the feelings of guilt so that you can continue living within your personal boundaries. So the next time you notice guilt rising up, just use this strategy and be amazed at the results. Oh, actually being able to enjoy the happy life that you deserve. Now, I want to hear all about how this strategy is working for you, and you can fill me in with all the details over at CherylTruesdale.com. So, do you feel inspired now? If so, would you like to inspire someone? Someone you know who could use a little love, hope, and inspiration to brighten their day? Got someone in mind? Then all you need to do to make a difference in their life right now is simply share this video with them. I am truly honored that you joined me for this episode of Cheryl Shares TV. And to make sure you get your dose of inspiration every week, just head on over to CherylTruesdale.com and sign up for email updates. That way you will never miss an episode. And remember, you are amazing. You do matter. And you most certainly do deserve to live a happy life you love. I will see you next week, my friend. Bye.